The human body is a marvel of intricate systems, each playing a vital role in keeping us alive and functioning. But there's one system that acts as the conductor of this complex orchestra, the nervous system. For nurses, understanding this intricate system is not just beneficial, it's absolutely crucial. This knowledge empowers nurses to provide the best possible care for their patients. The nervous system is made up of billions of nerve cells called neurons, which communicate with each other through a complex system of electrical and chemical signals. These signals travel at lightning speed, allowing us to react to our environment, process information, and control our movements in real time. For nurses, understanding this symphony of signals is key to deciphering the language of the nervous system. This knowledge is essential for interpreting neurological assessments and providing appropriate interventions. At the heart of our nervous system lies the central nervous system, encompassing the brain and spinal cord. The brain is responsible for our higher-level functions: consciousness, thought, memory, language, and voluntary movement. The spinal cord acts as the primary communication pathway between the brain and the rest of the body. This remarkable level of protection highlights the critical importance of the CNS in maintaining life and orchestrating our every interaction with the world. While the CNS serves as the core, the peripheral nervous system acts as its vast network of communication lines extending throughout the body. Sensory nerves carry information from our sense organs to the CNS, allowing us to perceive the world around us in all its richness. Motor nerves carry commands from the CNS to our muscles and glands, enabling movement and regulating bodily functions. This intricate system ensures our bodies function smoothly and maintain a stable internal environment without us having to consciously think about it. The CNS and PNS, though distinct in their anatomical structure, function in a highly integrated and interdependent manner. Sensory receptors in your foot immediately send pain signals via sensory nerves of the PNS to your spinal cord. The spinal cord transmits this signal to the brain, where it's processed and interpreted as pain. This rapid-fire communication between the CNS and PNS happens in a fraction of a second, demonstrating the remarkable efficiency and speed of our nervous system. Encasing the brain like a wrinkled walnut shell, the cerebral cortex is the outermost layer of the brain, responsible for our most sophisticated mental abilities. The cerebral cortex is divided into two hemispheres, the left and right, each controlling the opposite side of the body. These hemispheres are further subdivided into four lobes: frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital, each specialized for specific functions. The frontal lobes are responsible for planning, decision-making, problem-solving, and executive functions. While the cerebral cortex takes center stage in our conscious experience, a cast of crucial supporting actors lies beneath the surface, working tirelessly behind the scenes. Deep within the brain lies the thalamus, a relay station directing sensory information from the body to the appropriate areas of the cerebral cortex for processing. Just below the thalamus sits the hypothalamus, responsible for maintaining the body's internal balance or homeostasis. The hippocampus plays a starring role in memory formation, converting short-term memories into long-term storage. At the base of the brain, we find two structures indispensable for movement, coordination, and the regulation of vital functions: the cerebellum and the brainstem. The cerebellum plays a monumental role in motor control, ensuring our movements are smooth, coordinated, and precise. The brainstem, connecting the brain to the spinal cord, serves as the brain's critical life support system. This constant flow of information ensures we can perceive the world around us, react to stimuli, and control our movements effectively. Imagine a vast communication network spanning your entire body, constantly buzzing with electrical and chemical signals. This is the nervous system in action, and its fundamental units of communication are specialized cells called neurons. Neurons, like other cells in the body, possess a cell body containing the nucleus and other essential organelles. Branching out from the cell body are dendrites, resembling the delicate branches of a tree, which act as receivers, picking up signals from other neurons. Communication within the nervous system relies on a fascinating electrochemical process known as action potentials. These rapid, transient changes in electrical potential across a neuron's membrane are the language of the nervous system, conveying information from one neuron to the next. When a neuron receives a sufficiently strong signal from another neuron, it can trigger an action potential. This action potential then travels down the axon like a wave, with each segment of the axon depolarizing and then repolarizing in a domino-like effect. While action potentials allow for rapid signal transmission within a neuron, communication between neurons presents a unique challenge. Neurons don't physically touch each other. Instead, they communicate across tiny gaps called synapses, using a combination of chemical messengers and electrical signals. When an action potential reaches the end of an axon, it triggers the release of chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. This intricate dance of neurotransmitters, receptors, and electrical signals ensures the precise and controlled flow of information throughout the nervous system. Section 1. The spinal cord information superhighway. Imagine a bustling information superhighway, carrying a constant stream of data between the brain and the rest of the body. That's the spinal cord, a vital component of the central nervous system that acts as the primary communication link between the brain and the peripheral nervous system. Encased within the protective bony armor of the vertebral column, the spinal cord is a long, cylindrical structure extending from the brainstem down to the lower back. This delicate yet resilient structure is responsible for transmitting sensory information from the body to the brain, where it's processed and interpreted, and relaying motor commands from the brain to the muscles and glands, enabling movement and regulating bodily functions. Think of it as a two-way communication system, with ascending pathways carrying sensory data upwards to the brain and descending pathways transmitting motor commands downwards from the brain. This constant flow of information ensures we can perceive our surroundings, respond to stimuli, and execute complex movements with precision. The spinal cord is strategically organized, with specific segments responsible for communicating with distinct regions of the body. These segments, identified by their location along the vertebral column, give rise to pairs of spinal nerves that branch out to innervate specific muscles, organs, and sensory receptors. This organized segmentation allows for localized control and coordination of bodily functions. For instance, the cervical segments of the spinal cord control the head, neck, and arms, while the lumbar segments govern the legs and feet. Section 2. White matter and grey matter. Distinct roles in communication and processing. A cross-section of the spinal cord reveals a striking contrast between two distinct regions, an inner butterfly-shaped region of grey matter surrounded by an outer layer of white matter. This distinct organization reflects the specialized functions of these two types of nervous tissue. Grey matter, named for its darker appearance under the microscope, is where information processing and integration take place. It contains a high concentration of neuron cell bodies, dendrites and synapses, the junctions where neurons communicate with each other. This is where sensory information is received, motor commands are initiated, and reflexes are integrated. The grey matter is further organized into distinct regions called horns, each with specialized functions. The dorsal horns, located at the back of the spinal cord, receive sensory information from the body, while the ventral horns, situated at the front, contain motor neurons that send commands to muscles. White matter, named for its lighter appearance due to the presence of myelin, serves as the information superhighway of the spinal cord. It consists primarily of myelinated axons, the long, slender fibers that transmit signals over long distances. The myelin sheath, a fatty substance that insulates axons, acts like the insulation on an electrical wire, preventing signal loss and speeding up conduction. White matter tracts, bundles of myelinated axons, travel up and down the spinal cord, carrying sensory information to the brain and motor commands from the brain. Section 3, Reflexes, the spinal cord's rapid response system. Imagine touching a hot stove and instantly withdrawing your hand. That's a reflex in action, a rapid involuntary response. This system relies on a simple neural pathway called the reflex arc. The sensory neuron synapses directly with a motor neuron. The motor neuron then triggers a rapid response. Section 1. The silent guardian, maintaining internal harmony. Imagine a dedicated team working tirelessly behind the scenes, ensuring the smooth operation of your body's vital functions. That's the autonomic nervous system, or ANS, regulating involuntary processes essential for life. Like a skilled conductor, the ANS ensures the harmonious functioning of our internal organs. It regulates heart rate, blood pressure, breathing, digestion, and temperature control. It's the unsung hero of our nervous system, maintaining homeostasis. Unlike the somatic nervous system, which controls voluntary movements, the ANS operates autonomously beyond our conscious control. Sympathetic versus parasympathetic, a delicate balance. The autonomic nervous system has two branches, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Think of them as two sides of a coin, maintaining balance. The sympathetic system activates during stress or danger. It prepares the body for action, increasing heart rate and blood pressure. The parasympathetic system promotes relaxation and recovery. It slows heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and stimulates digestion. Together, they ensure our bodies respond appropriately, maintaining a delicate balance.
Section 1. Neurological Assessment. The basics. For nurses, a deep understanding of the nervous system isn't confined to textbooks and diagrams. It's the bedrock of patient care. Every interaction, from assessing a patient's reflexes to interpreting their speech patterns, offers clues about their neurological well-being. This is why neurological assessment is an indispensable tool in a nurse's arsenal, providing a window into the brain's function and guiding crucial clinical decisions. Section 2. Assessing consciousness and cognition. One of the most fundamental aspects of a neurological assessment is evaluating a patient's level of consciousness and cognitive function. Consciousness, that state of awareness and responsiveness to the world around us, is a complex interplay of brain activity, and any alteration can signal a serious underlying problem.
Nurses use a variety of tools and techniques to assess consciousness, including: is the patient awake and alert, drowsy but arousable, or unresponsive to stimuli? Can the patient correctly identify themselves, their location, and the current date and time? Disorientation can be a sign of delirium, dementia, or other neurological conditions. Is the patient's speech clear and fluent, or are they experiencing difficulties with word finding, comprehension, or articulation? Can the patient recall recent and past events? Memory problems can be indicative of a range of neurological disorders.
In addition to these bedside assessments, nurses may also utilize standardized scales, such as the Glasgow Coma Scale, to provide a more objective measure of consciousness, especially in patients with head injuries or other acute neurological conditions. The GCS assigns a numerical score based on a patient's eye-opening verbal response and motor response, with lower scores indicating a more severe impairment of consciousness. Section 3. Evaluating motor function and reflexes. Assessing motor function and reflexes provides crucial insights into the integrity of motor pathways. Disruptions can manifest as weakness, paralysis, tremors, or other movement disorders.
Nurses use observation and hands-on examination to assess muscle strength and coordination. Rapid alternating movements reveal coordination issues. Testing deep tendon reflexes provides information about reflex arcs. Evaluating muscle tone can indicate neurological conditions. These assessments help monitor disease progression and treatment effectiveness, empowering nurses to provide informed, compassionate care. Understanding the nervous system is the foundation of skilled and compassionate nursing care. Nurses rely on this knowledge daily, from assessing reflexes to understanding neurological disorders. The nervous system is the conductor of our being, dictating thoughts, emotions, and survival. This knowledge empowers nurses to make a tangible difference in patients' lives. Detecting subtle cues, nurses initiate prompt intervention. They tailor care to each patient's unique needs, promoting well-being. Nurses effectively communicate with healthcare teams, ensuring proper care. They educate patients and families, empowering informed decisions. The enduring relevance of neuroscience knowledge remains vital for nurses. Nurses will continue to make a profound impact on those affected by neurological conditions.